especially getting started. And even when you're doing really well, it still doesn't matter. So let me show you exactly what does matter. This is the only thing, the only primary thing in Google AdWords: conversions. This number in Google AdWords is the one thing you really are looking for all the time. What's the cost per conversion? The thing people often do, if they aren't tracking conversions, then they get obsessed with the average position, the cost per click, the keyword scores, and I know I've made all these mistakes myself. The only way to really do exceptional work from the very beginning in Google AdWords is cost per conversion. And no matter what you're doing, it still comes down to a conversion. If you're an attorney, you can get call tracking conversions set up. If you're selling products, you can get conversion tracking on your thank you page after people have purchased. If you're getting email addresses, you can put the conversion tracking on the page after the email sign up. You can also put it on an upsell page. No matter what you're trying to do, this number, cost per conversions, is it. This is your number one focus point. You do not want to try and do more than go outside of these little box right here. Conversions, cost per conversion, conversion rate. But even within that, you really only need cost per conversion. Because if you keep running your data long enough, the cost per conversion will tell you everything you need. Now, the number of conversions is helpful to see whether you've got an outlier. Occasionally, you'll just get lucky in some areas and get a really cheap conversion. But especially on an overall campaign, this is the sweet spot. So this means you can ignore average position. You can ignore average cost per click. You can ignore keyword scores. You can ignore click-through. You can ignore impressions. You can ignore clicks. You can ignore everything else. And that makes it easy to be successful in Google AdWords. The human mind is very effective at focusing on one thing. When you try and focus on all these other things in AdWords, your mind can barely even function in terms of trying to process all of the data. And I'm pretty smart, and I like to think you're pretty smart. So let's use our minds the way they're wired. One thing, cost per conversion. And this sounds easy, and you're probably like, why is he repeating this so much? Getting started, you've got to start with this. That's the second step to take, is a commitment to focusing only on cost per conversion. My clients often